You see some big wheeling being done out there. The grip starting to develop for these guys. There's still a chance of rain. A pop-up shower is still possible, but right now it is a dry race course here at Road America for the Stock 1000. Michael Gilbert, a winner this year. Andrew Lee, a winner this year. Will we see a new winner in Jeff May? It's a possibility. Good to see the veteran out in front, number 99. Stefano Mesa, he almost got that win at Virginia International Raceway at our last stop. You see him up inside the top 3. He knows how to contend for the lead. Can he get that first victory for 2019? Lap number 1 of 8, so it looks like they have cut down the laps. Originally scheduled, I believe, for a 13-lap race, but an 8-lap race now. And I want to bring in my partner, Michael Hill, who's down trackside helping with the commentary. Michael, conditions, I know it's cool, but it's dry at least for now.
Yeah, track conditions looking pretty good. There's a lot of activity down here, a lot of people watching on the screens. Great start in this race for Jeff May. Andrew Lee, the reigning champion, there in second position. And just from where I can see, I'm just actually stood down here in the Yoshimura box, and I can see Josh Herron is down here. I don't know whether I'm brave enough to go and have a quick word with him during this race, and I think I will actually. You know, I'm going to be brave. We are pretty good friends.
Watch out.
So this is the opening lap. Let's go and have a look and see, and hopefully he's going to be good enough just to have a word. He is just actually talking to one of the Dunlop guys. Josh, sorry to interrupt, buddy. Can I just grab you very, very quickly? He is going to talk to us, so what a great sport. Josh, obviously you're disappointed with what happened. Just give us your side of what happened in that final lap.
I was just pushing as hard as I could, obviously, and made the pass on Tony down the back straightaway. And went deeper on the brakes than I did the whole weekend, pretty much into 5. And he, ran it in there underneath me and pushed me a little bit wide. Not intentionally, but I just got shuffled wide and wasn't able to recover from it. But that's racing, is how it goes. So hopefully tomorrow we can run up front again and get the win.
So no hard feelings, revenge tomorrow?
Yeah, no hard feelings. I was heated right when it happened, but then halfway through the lap, I shook his hand and said good job. So that's the way it goes sometimes. I've done my fair share of aggressive riding, so we'll go for it tomorrow.
Cheers, mate. Okay, well, Robbie, as you can say, what a great sport, and he sat down here looking quite relaxed, and revenge tomorrow. We're on lap number 2. It is a shortened race here, 8 laps. Jeff May still leading from Stefano Mesa, and he's having a great season, isn't he? The number 37, and his great season continues here at Road America.
Yes, in less than a lap second differential, you're seeing that battle. Lee trying to put that pressure on. Lee is riding with an injury. He injured his hand a couple of weeks before VIR. I knew he wasn't up to pace or up to snuff there. I didn't know what was wrong, but after the fact, I heard he literally grounded off, I think, his pinky for the most part. You could see it exposed all the way down to the joint there. So that Virginia Raceway race, where I believe he finished in the top 5, a 4th, might have really saved his season, because it's going to be hard to make up ground if guys are clicking off wins. But Andrew Lee, even though he's injured, still in 3rd right now. Travis Wyman in 4th. Michael Gilbert, the winner and the series points leader. He hadn't finished outside the top 2, and right now Gilbert sits in 5th.
Yeah, looking really good at the moment then. Andrew Lee still riding with that injured finger, as you said. Travis Wyman up there in 3rd position. Looking a little bit further down on the timing screen, Bradley Ward, he tipped off this morning, and unfortunately with that delayed Superbike race, we never got a chance to do the grid walk, so hopefully we will tomorrow. I wanted to see how he was feeling. He must be feeling pretty good, because he's up into the top 10, Robbie, doing a great job there on the 757 in a great fight for 8th place with Wyatt Farris and Rhett Norman off camera.
Wyman looking strong right now, holding off Lee, but I was looking at Jeff May's time, 8/10, the better the last time around. Throws a purple time up that last time around, 2:16.76. But Stefano Mesa at 2:16.70, so Mesa's still holding strong. There's the race for 3rd right now. Travis Wyman, the 24, still holding on to that 3rd spot. Looks to be pretty content for that position right now, riding out of Las Vegas on the We're Everywhere Racing BMW 1000. This is the Stock 1000 class. The man out in front, Jeff May, a former Superbiker racer, a former factory Buell rider, a pilot here as well. So a lot of experience. He's ahead of Stefano Mesa. by less than a second, and here's the race for third just behind. But these guys are already 5-second arrears from first and second.
Yeah, these leading two, then the leading duo, Jeff May and Stefano Messa. And interestingly as well, we have the luxury of seeing the timing screens. Purple sectors through Sector 1 and Sector 2 for Jeff May. Purple sectors through Sectors 4 and 5. So toing and froing in this race. One part of the circuit suiting the Kawasaki of Jeff May, one part suiting the Kawasaki of Stefano Messa.
We've seen that a couple of times, and it may not be the equipment, it may be more the rider. You know, a certain specialty. This guy likes this portion of the course. We've seen that in other classes today. Don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much there. But we're almost, it sounds crazy, but we're almost to the halfway point. We're on lap number 3 of this 8-race feature, race number 1 here of the Stock 1000s. As they head into that chicane section, typically the cars will be able to go straight in that portion. Now you see Wyman in there. You see Gilbert starting to move into the picture, the 55, the green machine behind this duo. Oh, a little bobble there from Wyman. And you see Andrew Lee starting to close up just a bit.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of people down here in pit lane just watching what is going on. It's a very intriguing fight for the top two. It's an equally intriguing fight for the final step on the podium. And just keep your eyes on Michael Gilbert there, the number 55 in 5th position, just in the back of the picture as they come through. I think that is heading up through turn 12. Yeah, and there he is. You see the green machine. He is closing in, and keep your eyes on points leader Michael Gilbert. He's going to be in this battle for the podium in not too long. I think probably the next half a lap he'll be on the back of Wyman and Lee.
Yeah, and that's Michael Gilbert on the 55 out of Tustin, California, Team Norris Racing. He is the series points leader, a second and a first place in the first two. He'll be the third rider in that picture. There's 1 and 2 coming, and look at that gap as they head down into turn 1. Lee grabbing some downshifts, heading into that right hand, and Gilbert is closing. Definitely made up some time that last lap around, and this is lap 4 of 8, so this is basically the halfway point of the race.
Yeah, they come down into 3, and differing lines there, a little bit tighter for Travis Wyman on the BMW. And it'll be interesting now as they wind it up. Lee gets on a very, very good exit out of 3, heading into 4, down in towards turn 5. And that was the part of the circuit that Andrew Lee said in the feature that I did with the riders earlier in the weekend that was his favorite corner. And he certainly looked pretty quick through 3 on that lap.
Our 7th and 8th tenth differential between first and second is no more. Look at how tight they are now. It's still Jeff May in front. The 99 out of Sugar Hill, Georgia, Maris Bank Kawasaki ZXR 1000. He's not got the advantage over Stefano Mesa that he had before. This is much like what we saw at Virginia with Stefano Mesa battling back and forth, but that time it was with Michael Gilbert, and Gilbert got the better end of that deal, taking the victory. But Stefano was there the entire time, and Stefano's no rookie. He's been in this series for quite a while. That doesn't mean he's old or nothing, but I just mean he has experience, and we know how much experience May has.
Yeah, May has a lot of experience, a former rider in the World Superbike Championship, of course, with that All-American team, EBR. He's back in MotoAmerica, but interestingly, in this race, we could see a new points leader because Stefano Messa currently on for the 20. Michael Gilbert would only pick up 11, so it's going to close right up and possibly change at the top. I don't have the points in front of me, Robbie, but we could see a new points leader heading into tomorrow's race, depending on the outcome in the next couple of laps.
5th place gives you 11th. If you can get a win, that's 25, so that's a 14 differential if you can see Stefano Mesa close in there as well. Or either way, Gilbert has to do something or he's going to lose ground either way. And you see the green machine still in the picture. That's 3rd, 4th, and 5th as you see them on track.
Looking good. And another rider also that we should give a mention to, currently not on screen, is Corey Alexander, back in the championship as well. We're talking a lot about Jeff May, and rightly so, because he's currently leading this race. But Corey Alexander back in the MotoAmerica paddock and having a pretty good ride on the Kawasaki there in 6th place.
Yeah, the ride HVMC Freeman Racing Kawasaki out of New York. Corey Alexander back into the series. The 23, look for him to maybe sneak up inside that top 5, but right now Gilbert has a considerable advantage over him. Differential going to be tough to make up right there, but anything can happen. 4 laps to go, this 8-lap race. Hard into that right-hand turn, trying to get in that draft, and that's something we've seen from the racers here today. I don't care if it's a small bike, big bike, the draft is so important. Lee tucks in behind Wyman. We see him pull out, he goes to the inside. This looks a lot like we saw at Atlanta.
Yeah, it's great to see. And the nature of this circuit, we've said it throughout the day, throughout practice yesterday as well, just the nature of this 4-mile circuit just lends itself to close racing. Interestingly there for me was the fact that the Kawasaki of Andrew Lee just wasn't able to draft past the BMW.
True.
The brand new BMW this year, of course, coming out of Germany. It's a very, very quick machine in a straight line.
And Andrew Lee's very good at drafting. He did the same thing at Atlanta, and he was able to make the pass on the last lap over Michael Gilbert because Gilbert did not take a protective inside line. Lee got in the draft, dove inside, took over position on the very last lap. And hey, that's the most important one, right? Doesn't matter who's in front on the first lap, it's who finishes first.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just keeping an eye down here. I'm, as I said, just using the Yoshimura Suzuki Factory Racing pit canopy just to keep an eye on this. Gilbert again on the last lap, a little bit quicker than Travis Wyman, 10th by 10th. Gilbert is closing in.
And their differential looks like 8/10 that gap from Wyman, and it's closing down little by little, and Andrew Lee losing a little bit of ground. You see him taking more of a straight line approach through that switch back and forth. No reason to bob and weave, just scrubbing speed. And Andrew Lee is able to go straighter and a little bit faster, closing in on the Beamer.
Yeah, looking good. And another rider that's actually come down here, what we should say for the people, it's not just the fans watching this one. Josh Herrin, we spoke to him a few moments ago. He sat down here glued to the TV screen as Andrew Lee makes a move on the inside at 14. And a nice little move there. They were side by side, but Lee holds on to that third position. Matthew Schultz has now come down here to watch what's going on. There's a nice little conflab going on, and they're both very much watching the screen here as across the line they go side by side across the line. And again, that just underlined how quick the BMW is, Robbie, as they head down into one with only 3 laps to go.
You kind of alluded to it earlier. You were surprised that Lee wasn't able to close in on that draft. We see why. That BMW is fast in straight line speed. Lee tries going underneath there, but that's probably the quickest we've seen all day of a guy get out of that slipstream and just shoot straight by. Usually they wait a little further down the hill, but that wasn't the case that time with Wyman.
No, absolutely not. The BMW is a thoroughbred machine when it comes to Superstock. Of course, it won the Superstock 1000 European Championship last year with Markus Reiterberger, the German rider on that German machine. So we know how quick it is in Europe, but it's certainly working well around this circuit. At the front, though, it's still Jeff May and Stefano Messer, and they're still also split by less than a second. So a real intriguing fight for the win and a real intriguing fight for the third spot on the podium.
And there's that pass earlier that we saw out of Andrew Lee when he took over that third position. You can't give him that inside line and expect to just sweep around the outside. It's not going to happen. But look at the drag race. And again, early in the program, shooting by and then gapping himself a little bit over Lee, coming down into that downhill right-hand first turn. And Lee said, okay, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to try and get it somewhere else. And Gilbert's watching all this, and guys, keep punching that hole in front of me. I'll catch up with you on my Kawasaki as well. But look at the top 5. Kawasaki, BMW, and then 3 more Kawasaki's.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw just how quickly the gap can shrink. Look at what happened in the Superbike race. And certainly if we're talking about last laps, look what happened in the Supersport 3, I call it Supersport 300, Liqui Moly Junior Cup it's called over here. But we just know if it's going to come down to the last lap, Travis Wyman, he's going to know that that bike is a little bit quicker than Andrew Lee. He just needs to be placed correctly. If he's in front of Lee, I can't see Lee drafting him. If he's behind Lee coming out of 14 on the final lap, I think he's got enough in the tank. As long as that wrist is pulled right back, he should be able to draft Andrew Lee and take the last step on the podium.
But what's going on between Jeff May and Stefano Mesa? About a half a second differential up in front, but they are like 8-9 seconds faster than third. A lot of Kawasaki's, but they're doing something right. That race for second, third, and fourth, you can count them out of the win unless the 2 guys in front, take each other out, because it's a 13-second differential right now.
Yeah, no, it's a great race this then. Stock 1000 and Jeff May. Oh, just see how wide and loose they get coming down into 3.
Big wiggle out of Wyman that time, and it really allowed Lee to close in. And there's that race up in front. Stefano Mesa trying to put the pressure on now. Only 2 laps to go. Can Jeff May, is he holding on? Is he biding his time? Can he not separate himself from Stefano Mesa?
Well, looking at the splits there, I think Jeff May made a mistake in Sector 1. He lost half a second. They went across the line, split by about 1 second. That gap now is literally, well, you could put a cigarette paper between them. They're so close together. And a little mistake then in Sector 1. We didn't see it on the TV screen, but Jeff May now under real pressure from Stefano Messer as they come through 8, under the bridge, into the carousel. round the long right-hander. And as we said earlier, this is probably, what did we say, Robbie? About a 300-degree constant radius right-hander, possibly the most challenging curve in the whole championship.
Stefano Mesa was 9 points arrears of Michael Gilbert. Gilbert currently sits in 5th. The difference, 5th gives you how many points? 11 points?
11 points,
second gives you 20. That looks like a tie to me if they stay just like they are. So even more important for Stefano Mesa, if he's able to get by, he would be the new points leader as it stands right now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I wasn't quick enough to do the maths earlier, obviously being down here in the pit lane, but I knew there wasn't a lot between them, and if we're going to go level playing, it's going to be all to play for, not just for tomorrow's race, but also for the rest of the season. An enthralling championship fight in Stock 1000. And it's not over because there's a lap and a corner to go, and Jeff May's just got to keep his head. He's a very experienced rider. Stefano Mesa will be thinking of the championship, and that is a lot more than 0.2 of a second now. May is stretching them as they come through to start the final lap and the white flag.
Yeah, and you look at Andrew Lee in that points picture up into 4th right now. Lee in 4th. He loses a little ground to Mesa, but he's still holding off Gilbert, and that's the big championship picture, right? I mean, Gilbert had a 7-point differential over Lee. Mesa was 9 behind, so Mesa literally could leapfrog up to the front, but Lee is still in that picture. Gilbert, he's got 1 lap to catch up to these two, but they're going to really have to slow each other down.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just actually positioning myself now down in front of the big screen. There's a massive crowd watching on the little grandstands down here, watching what's going on the big screen.
There you go. Look at this. Mesa. He tried sticking it in on the outside. At least he lets him know he's there. This is the last lap. He's got to put the pressure on here, Michael.
Yeah, this is great, and I just missed that because I was moving into position, but the race is on. It's the final lap as they come into turn 6 then. This is the off-camber corner. They come through 6. They're heading down, and there's also it's all going on for 3rd place as well. Wyman was 3rd, and Lee goes through. Andrew Lee makes his move as they go up the hill through 5 into 6. We need a split screen here. This is a two duos fighting for the podium. We need a split screen on this final lap.
And again, that's 3 points advantage by making that one pass. Lee knows it. But the race going for the lead, there's only about a 1/3 of a track in front of him. Jeff May still leads this one, has led start. Can he lead till finish? The number 99 of Jeff May on the Kawasaki just ahead of the 37 of Stefano Mesa with a few turns still to go.
Through the chicane we go then. After the carousel, we flick it left, we flick it right. 2nd gear, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Wind it up to one of the fastest parts around this MotoAmerica circuit. Jeff May, oh, he's right over the side of the curb there. Everybody watching the big screen down here, including Wayne Rainey, who sat here watching this with a big smile on his face. And we go down in towards turn 12 through the bump. Just watch the outside edge there. They're nice and tidy. Look at Mesa getting it squirrely through 12 into 13. Then 3rd gear, 4th gear. Don't run too wide there, but Jeff May has gone wide. He's going to open up the outside line. Messa's trying to go around him. It's going to be the drag to the flag, Robbie. Take us through this as we come through
Mesa
to take the checkered flag. There's going to be a photo finish.
Mesa went to the inside. Jeff May closed him off, literally took the front wheel from him. A drag race to the end, unofficially. Jeff May by 0.015. That's 15 1/1000ths of a second advantage, and May knew he had messed up. Look at the race to the checkered for 3rd. Look how far back they were. That's Andrew Lee and Travis Wyman unofficially, and Michael Gilbert in 5th. You know, Jeff May made a mistake going into 14. You and I both saw it, and he got in defensive mode, something serious, because Mesa had that pass coming down the front straightaway, and if anything, I think Mesa's going to be a little disappointed because Jeff May gave Mesa 0 room and literally shut off that front tire.
Yeah, and we also got it wrong. We said that we thought Travis Wyman on the BMW would be able to draft past, but that was a stunning final lap by the reigning champion. He was able to hold off the BMW, and Andrew Lee, still with that injured finger, manages to get it on the box. But Jeff May is the winner. Top speed there of 168 mile an hour on a super stock machine. Incredible speeds from Jeff May.
Unbelievable. I'm trying to look at the time. 177 miles an hour, the fastest lap, or the fastest speed check in the field. I'm trying to see who did that. I'm not able to pick that up right now. But yeah, what a race. Wyman Gilbert rounded out the 5. Corey Alexander, we talked about him, finished in 6. Miles Thornton, Wyatt Ferris, Garrick Schneider in 9th. Rhett Norman rounding out the top 10. Bradley Ward, after going down earlier today, finishes in 13th.
Yeah, and we just saw there on the screen the top speed from our second place finisher, Stefano Mesa, 174 miles an hour from the rider in second as a top speed. That is incredible. Andrew Lee top speed 175, so even quicker from Andrew Lee on the ZX-10R Kawasaki, the reigning champion. He waves to the crowd, and a very appreciative crowd here in MotoAmerica, as we've seen all season long, and rightly so. There's that move. And where was that?
That was the pass into third that we saw earlier, and then he was able to pull away. I still want to see that race to the finish line. That last corner or two, May was in trouble, but I want you to see just how much he shuts the door on Stefano Mesa. Oh, man, he's pumped about it. He should be. That was one heck of a race. I mean, start to finish. But Mesa, I mean, he's been Mr. Second Place the past couple of times. He really put the pressure on, but that's back-to-back seconds for him after finishing third at the first race in Atlanta. Stefano Mesa is going to be one to deal with here. And then still Andrew Lee works his way up into third when it looked like he was going to drop back. You know, maybe fourth, possibly fifth. Andrew Lee finishes a podium. Burn that tire up.
For sure. And I just don't know whether I've got time just very quickly to grab a word with MotoAmerica President Wayne Rainey. He's been instrumental in bringing the championship up to the standard that we have now as we wait for these riders to come down into victory circle. Very quickly, Wayne, you've been sat here with a big smile on your face. We've had some great races, more to come tomorrow. What a fantastic event here at Road America.
Man, I think everybody's getting their money's worth today. It's been exciting every single race.
For sure, and I didn't get my hair wet, so that's good.
No, you're not going to get your hair wet as long as you keep your hat off.
Cheers, Wayne. The riders are then coming around then on this slowdown lap, and a lot of crowd down here. You may just be able to pick it up on the mic down here. We'll try and have a word maybe with one or two fans if we can. There are quite a lot of people down here. In fact, I'm going to just be, I'm about to get run over by Stefano Mesa. Whoa, he comes streaming in down here. Almost wipes me out down there, but the team looking quite
Michael,
good. The Franklin Armory boys looking pretty happy. And Robbie, if you don't mind, just maybe leave this with me for a second, because it's all kind of happening down here. Big smiles and high fives. And here comes the race winner. What about this from Jeff May? And I think there's a tear there in the visor. He looks very emotional as he comes in down here. Jeff May takes the win, and he gives us the thumbs up. And I tell you what, I think there's a tear underneath that helmet, Robbie. We wait then for Andrew Lee to come down, and I'm waiting just to see if Jody Lee is down here. That is, of course, Jeff's wife, and I haven't seen her yet, but a lot of the teams now just running through from the other end of the pit lane. Here comes Andrew Lee then. Let's see as he comes in down here. Nice round of applause. He gives us a little nod and a little smile, a little pat on the back there for Andrew as he comes in, and all smiles. And let's just have a quick word with one of the team down here with Andrew. I'm just going to come across. She's running away from me, but I've got longer legs, so she's not going to escape. You're pretty happy there with that one there, Andrew, on the podium?
Yeah, of course.
And that's all I'm getting from her. She's run off, so I tried my best to speak to her. She was having none of that, but there we go. That is pretty happy down here. Everybody happy. Robbie, while we just wait for the riders just to get into position, maybe you want to give us a rundown of the top six. And Robbie's not there, so we'll keep talking down here.
I lost my monitor, Michael. So
the riders then getting into position. We are going to have a chat then to them. The TV crew's just getting into position as well. And I tell you what, that is a massively emotional Jeff May. He's taking off the gloves. The crew chief looking on. And here is Jeff's wife. I want to see if Jody, she bought me an ice cream earlier in the weekend. And careful, she's falling over the thing. And just be careful. The ankle's fine, thank you. I fell out of the hotel earlier in the weekend, but that's another story. Jody, what a ride by Jeff. He's got tears coming down his face. That was a hell of a ride.
Hey, you know what? I'm so excited to see him racing with Stefano. Stefano is such an amazing racer, and these guys get to race together all the time. And it's great to see him out here racing. This is one of our favorite tracks, so it was a good race.
And let's just have a quick word, if we can, with Jeff's little boy. And how about that? Your daddy won the race. So you happy with that?
Yes.
Yeah, he did good, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Good job. I'm going to hand back up in the box then to Robbie. Let's run you through the point scorers in that Stock 1000 race.
As we take a look at the results of race number one here at Road America for the Stock 1000, Jeff May taking the victory over Stefano Mesa and Andrew Lee, 1, 2, and 3. Travis Wyman in fourth, followed by Michael Gilbert. Those first five, those are championship hopefuls, title contenders. Corey Alexander for his first his welcome back to the Stock 1000 class here at MotoAmerica. We finishes in sixth place, Miles Thornton. We have eighth place, Wyatt Ferris, Garrick, and Rhett Norman rounding out the top 10. Let's send it back down to Michael on the victory podium.
Yeah, I'm down here with our third place finisher, Andrew Lee, and still not fully fit, that finger, not 100%, but that was one gutsy ride. Well done.
Yeah, it was a good race. Travis and I were back and forth for quite a bit. I think I could be up there with the top 2 boys, but they rode really good today. They got off to a better start than I did, so I think tomorrow I just need to ride a little bit more competitive, and the Graves Kawasaki Franklin Armory is just working great today.
Thanks, Andrew. See you tomorrow. Great stuff there for Andrew Lee, and as he said, a little bit more to come tomorrow. We wait then for Stefano. He's coming down here as well. We get ready to have a chat to him in a couple of moments' time, but looking quite happy here, Robbie, is Stefano Messi. He's got a big smile on his face. So we wait then just to hear from our second place finisher. And okay then, so Stefano, second position, another great result for you, continuing your string of podium finishes.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great race. I knew Jeff coming into the class was going to be a big step up. I mean, I've been racing the guy for a couple years now in club racing, and I've been learning off of him, so I knew we were going to go a little bit faster, so I had to bring my A game, and I think I brought it. I want to thank Scott Dunn for letting me borrow his bike for this round. My bike had a little bit mechanical at the end of VIR, so I'm pretty much on a new bike, and it's working pretty well, so hopefully tomorrow we got a little more and we can put it up front.
Good job, good race today. Thanks, Stefano.
Thank you.
Okay, again, a very happy guy, and never seen so many happy people down here. You hear the crowd in the background, and of course, the next guy we're going to speak to is a very emotional Jeff May. Hello, buddy. It's so good to see you again. So we'll just wait to be told when we can go. So, Jeff, we can see what this means to you. It's been a few years since we've had a chance to catch up, but what a race. Led that from the front.
Yeah, you know, it has been a few years. Last time I saw you, I thought my career was over, and you know, here I am, man. Never give up. So it means a lot. It's never easy. You know, a lot of guys thought, oh, you know, Jeff's going to come in and clean house, and this is all I can do. This is what I got, and I'm going to make the most of what I have, and you know, I don't plan on going anywhere.
Tell you what, mate, we can see what that means. I wish you had a tissue to give you, buddy. That's a great ride. Well done, Jeff. We'll see you tomorrow.
That's sweat, man. That's winter sweat.
Thanks a lot. You see what it means to the guys down here. Jeff May then bags the 25 points. And Robbie, I'm going to hand back up to you as we get ready for the podium for the fans down here. But what a brilliant Superstock race here at Road America. Robbie, back to you in the comms box.
Thanks a lot, brother. As we look at the top 2 finishers coming across there, hand in hand, thumbs up. Jeff May takes the victory over Stefano Mesa, and a borrowed bike at that. That was one heck of a run. You might want to keep that bike for a little while. That thing is fast. And Andrew Lee rounding out the top 3. So the points are going to be tight here as we take a look at the schedule for the second day of racing here at Road America. It's going to be another full day of racing, but we'll also bring in the Twins race. They'll get their one and only shot at it